Got a really good, talented California team coming into Acrisure Stadium. Got to pack the act. The Panther Pit's got to be loud and proud and give us a home field advantage. So we're expecting that from them, and should be a great atmosphere Saturday.
What causes you to lose sleep about this Cal team? What concerns you the most?
What concerns me, it's not the Cal team. It's about us just going out and executing. That's every week. We got to go make plays and we got to execute. We've done a good job to this point of executing. 85% of the time, I guess. There's 15% you didn't make a play or didn't why did you just do something wrong and execute it wrong or have a mental error. But it comes down to execution. I would say if you look at Cal overall, I mentioned it on Monday. I think they're fast. I think they have really good speed. I think their linebackers are athletic. Their DBs are athletic. They lead the country in interceptions. We got to be smart with the ball. And offensively, they've got speed at the receiver spot, and their running backs are really fast, and their tight ends are fast. Number 10 is a really good player at tight end, so I think he's really fast. 87 is athletic as well.
Is there anything that you did in preparing for it to face Omari and Hampton that can also be applied to Jaden Ott?
No, they're two different guys. Hampton's a bigger guy. They say Ott's a 210-pound guy. He doesn't look that big on tape. We'll eyeball him when pregame just to see how big he really is. But 210, 220, that's 10 pounds is a big difference. You got to tackle them. Either way, it doesn't matter who they are. They're fast guys in the backfield. The big thing is, can you get your hands on them? Are you fast enough to run them down?
Does the fact that you didn't need a fourth quarter comeback indicate progress?
Yeah, I think every week you hope to get better. You make your biggest improvement from week 1 to week 2, but you hope every week you get a little bit better, at different things, and you emphasize different stuff, But I think there's always progress. I think, and again, you want to win games in many different ways as you can. You don't always want it to be the same. You want to win different games, different ways, so your guys know, hey, we can do that. Oh, it was, the nice thing is, you didn't come from behind to win it, but you were kind of in the fourth quarter. It's a game. It's tied up at halftime, 17-17, and so you found a different way that our guys just hung in there and made enough plays at the end to win the football game. So you want to find different ways to win. You don't want to do it the same way where you're always, if you're ahead in the third quarter, that's the only way you can win. That's a problem. You've never been behind. So I think it's good for me as a head coach to know that we can win in different ways, and the kids trust and believe. Psychologically, they can win anytime. The hardest one is that the major comebacks. Those are the hardest ones. When we've obviously done that.
Was Saturday the most complete game that Javon has played since he became a starter?
No, Javon's had some darn good games. And again, I don't go back and look at last year, but Javon's had some really good games, and he's been. There was a reason he started last year. After the first 2 games, I believe he was not a starter. No, he was a starter the whole time. Matter of fact, we moved him to the field, and Donovan took over. But Donovan's a good football player, but he had one of those games too. But he's had other ones like that.
And how's Brandon done with the quarterback responsibilities on the defensive side as far as communication, getting guys where they need to be, and more? Mm-hmm. Is he being where he is, allowing Kyle and Rasheem and others to make plays? Yeah,
I think everything starts with the middle linebacker, Brandon George. His first thing is to get him lined up. Okay, that's what he does. That's what our Mikes do. He gets everybody lined up. He gets everything aligned properly. There's a lot more to it. The green dots help because Coach Mandalak can talk to him up until that 15-second mark. So that's made it a little bit easier as far as that goes. Again, versus these tempo teams like last week, it helps more. In the previous games when everybody was huddling up, they're breaking the huddle with about 17 seconds and lining up, and then you're losing communication, so it doesn't help you. So the teams that go fast, like North Carolina was like 43%, pretty good tempo. You're going to have time to talk to them. And I think California will tempo, which will really help us a lot if they go fast, and we can help out the back a little bit.
Pat, you may disagree with this, but it seems like there's a perception of you that you're like a pro-style offense guy, maybe not a spread offense guy. Obviously now you're scoring a bunch of points, whatever. I don't know, through what you've seen in your career, how have you evolved into having that, and then what's it feel like seeing your offense be able to score, being an identifiable part of this?
Yeah, stereotypes are bad, as you guys all know, right? We should not stereotype, but the one thing I'll say to it, like the last 2 years prior to this season, we weren't trying to not score points. Every time I bring an offensive coordinator in here, we bring him in with the intent to score points. That's what we want to do. The more the merrier, right? I think, Matt Canada, when he was here, we were explosive. I mean, matter of fact, I had to tell him to stop scoring so fast. Like at Syracuse, when we ran the same exact formation, the same exact play, and ran a reverse and scored both of them on 70-yard runs. It was like, and it was one play and the defense is back out on the field. And we didn't have a bunch of good defensive players in that game because we were all banged up. But I think Matt Canada was really explosive. I think, Whipple was explosive, and now we got to Coach Bell. I mean, I wish I could pick him better and make you happy all the time and not just sometimes. I prefer that, but sometimes we make mistakes, but the intent is always to score points. It's never, and you're trying to mold your offense. You try to mold your offense to your personnel. I mean, when Kenny left, it was like, okay, we're not going to be this slinging around, fast tempo. Let's get Kenny as many plays as possible. When he left, it was like, okay, what's our quarterback situation? We'll bring another transfer in, and we had Izzy Bandican in the backfield, and we did pretty good for 1 of the 2 years. I think we were explosive. Izzy was fun to watch 2 years ago. I guess in 22, 23, he was gone, and now what do you know? Now we lost a bunch of good defensive guys. So those things go you wish you could be explosive every year. It's the same thing in the National Football League. It's the same thing around the country. Everybody would like to be explosive every year, and you can be if you call them right and things work out.
In terms of
Good question.
In terms of conference realignment, what do you think about Cal being in the ACC? Do you think there's a benefit to playing a team that hasn't traveled so far?
Maybe it helps you a little bit, which I don't. It helps you a little bit on one end, but next year, guess what? We're going to travel far. So to me, it's kind of where college football's gone. Wish they'd start to regionalize and do some of those things, but we don't want to go out there next year. And I think it's better for them than for us. Maybe it's just my East Coast mindset, but they're coming in here playing a noon game, and next year we'll probably go play an 8 o'clock at night game, and the game's ended at 2 o'clock in the morning, and you can't practice that. That's what I don't like is that time change. I mean, I think this is great for Cal to come in here and play a noon game. Okay, I think that's the way you'd like it to be. I mean, they're all awake at noon going to class, so they're good. But they played noon 1, 2, 3 to 4 o'clock. So noon to 4 is not a bad window for them to come out here. But we're playing a 3:30 game. What if we play? I'd like a noon start to really make it hard on them, right? I mean, what time is that in the morning? 9 a.m. Like who plays 9? Except it would be not bad for us if you're a morning practice team. So for us to go out there and finish the game at 2 o'clock in the morning, I think that's hard because you can't practice it. I'm not going to tell our guys, hey, we're practicing at 2 o'clock in the morning, let's go. But next year I might have a couple really late practices just to kind of work that a little bit because I think you have to. So I mean, it's about who you get to play. But when we go out there, it should be a 3:30 game. When they come out here, it should be a 3:30 game, or a night game. I don't care. But we're not going to control that either because the networks are going to control all those situations.
You wouldn't like 3 West Coast trips in the first half of the season, like California has 3 East Coast trips in the first half of the season.
Yeah, we don't have to deal with that. That's why it was okay to bring them in here. That's something they got to deal with, right? Mm-hmm. So yeah, I would not be happy if we had to play a bunch of games out west. That would not be fun because I think it wears you out when you go to travel to Louisville and then North Carolina. I think 2 years ago, just those road trips, and they were both night games, and that wore on us. I think, and we don't, wasn't a big time change.
Do you think of Rodney's first game back?
It's a little rusty. He practiced just on Thursday last week. I think I lied to you guys last week. So Matt Brown did go and practice. Yeah, I did.
Not intentional.
I admitted to it. We didn't find out as early as I told you, but I wanted them to, have to go, holy cow, the guys played for it. If I'd have just told you, you just got, So he didn't get a lot of reps last week. He was a little rusty. I think he'll be a lot better this week as far as what he's doing, and he's got a lot more reps this week. Period. He's got 3 good days of practice.
With how much success Desmond has had this year, how do you kind of balance who gets in there with how impactful Desmond's been?
That's hard. I mean, you don't really want to take Desmond off the field, but we got to keep him fresh, and we know Daniel Carter's a good football player. We saw that a couple weeks ago, and then Rodney. Rodney's got Rodney can help us, and again, keeping him fresh. So in the fourth quarter, when you really need a play, and you throw it to Desmond or you hand it off to him, that he's got the ability at that point. I was a little disappointed he didn't take that one to the house. He got walked down.
We asked him about it.
And so it was, I said, I thought you had speed. Are you kidding me? But so hopefully he's faster this week.
The national letter of intent going away, recruits will just sign 8 agreements. Would you be in favor of at some point there's not even a signing day or signing period? It's just, anytime after, say September 1st was your year, high school kid can just sign an 8 agreement, it's done, it's over with, you got them locked up.
Yeah, I haven't followed all that, Chris. I haven't followed all the new rules and, except for the days in the portal and all that stuff. But, how many scholarships how many grant aids can you sign?
Probably the same number it is now, I would assume.
I have no idea why that rule changed. I have no idea the intent. But, in the old days, the letter of intent, the purpose of a letter of intent was, I was, when I was sitting at home visit, I'd say, okay, there's 2 papers you're gonna sign. Okay, the first one is a scholarship. This is the money part, okay? This is the money. This says, hey, we're giving you this money. We're gonna pay for your school, your room, board, books, tuition fees, all those things, okay? Sign that. You'd be a knucklehead to sign the national letter of intent without signing that. Does that make sense? National letter of intent is what binds the University of Pittsburgh to Pitt, or to that kid and that kid to Pitt. So, my question is, without knowing the insides of the rules, because I haven't looked at it, maybe you can let me know next week, because I really don't care. Can you as a recruit sign with 3 different schools and wherever you show up? That's what the letter of intent was. You could only sign one of those, and whichever. If you were a knucklehead kind of guy, which back 30 years ago, some kids would try to sign them. And if you sign 2 letter of intents, which one do you think counts? You have to put the date. You have to put the date and time on there. So it's whichever one is timed properly. That's what locked you in. That hey, he's coming to Pitt. Now, can a recruit sign 3? I don't know if they can or can't. I have no idea. I just don't know why we even changed it. But that would be my concern with hearing that new rule.
Can a transfer do that now? Could a transfer sign an 8 agreement and then back out and go somewhere else?
Yes, they can sign 5 scholarships right now. It's what locks a transfer into going to a certain university is he can sign 5 of them. It's wherever he enters and goes to school first. So it's wherever he shows up, which is crazy. It's another, we should have a letter of intent for those guys. You want to sign a scholarship, sign this national letter. That's what makes us sleep at night as coaches. No letter of intent, I don't know. I don't know what it means.
It's almost like you should have a contract or something, right?
Yeah, the contracts are good.
That's
what a national letter of intent was, is a contract saying you're coming, we don't care about the money part of it, sign that, that's great. If you signed a letter of intent and didn't sign a scholarship, you're coming as a walk-on for free. Appreciate you. We want contracts.
It's not the law of the land yet, but the revenue sharing with players is coming. What's your feeling on that?
I think it's great. They make the university a lot of money. It's kind of like a, enhanced name, image, and likeness deal that I think it's good. And that's where we are. I think it's good. Just want to make sure the kids are doing the right thing with their money. That's what I can. You give a 17, 18, 19-year-old money. You wonder what they do with it. And to me, if I was a parent, I'd make sure I took the money and invested it and put it away and said, you can get it when you graduate. Get your degree. To me, that revenue share is great. Give it to them after they've graduated. Okay, take sure they get a degree.
Do you sit down with these kids and tell them things like that?
Oh yeah, no doubt about it. Try to educate the parents of what I would do if it was my kid. I don't want my kids walking around with all that money. What are they going to do?
The NFL,
some will do a good job, and most of them won't. Just like in the NFL, you guys heard of the guys in the NFL that make all that money and they're broke. Right? What did you do with all your money? Mm-hmm. That's an adult. That's a 25-year-old. How about what's a 17, 18-year-old going to do?
The NFL has those, rookie symposium or whatever. They try and teach the kids about how to. Do you feel like that should be something like a school like Pitt does? Do you think it should be an NCAA program of education of how to manage this?
Yeah, we do that. We've got the largest life skills program in the country, and we benefit from that. So our kids, we hope, and again, you know how it is telling your kids stuff sometimes. They listen sometimes, and sometimes they just want to go do what they want to do. They want a new car, which is the worst investment, as we all know, that you can possibly make. Go buy a new house. Some of these kids with this house, buy a house, okay? You got a tax write-off. Those are all, you don't have to buy a big house, buy a small house and then rent it out, make some money too. There's some, but our life skills does a great job.
With a team like Cal that intercepts the ball at a high clip, what does Eli need to do to continue to push down the ball down the field but avoid those turnovers?
Be smart with the football. Good quarterback play helps, and you better be really smart with the ball.
What was it like after the pick 6 at UNC? What did you learn from that? What was his sort of mindset after that?
You know, I mean, I think, you know, what was his mindset? I didn't say, hey, how are you feeling after that? Did it feel good to you? Did you do that on purpose? You know, I think, you know, no one's happy when they do that, but the mindset would be what happened the rest of the time after that. And I would say he fared pretty good. He was ACC Player of the Week and got all these awards. So, you know, you have to rebound from those things. It's just like life. I mean, you know, you're not, every day's not going to be a good day. You know, you're just going to quit, you know, and just go, oh, I had a bad morning today. You know, I'm not going to work the rest of the day. No, that tells you that they know how to deal with adversity. We try to teach them as well, you know, talking about life skills and education about dealing with adversity and also dealing with success. And you know, those two things go hand in hand. And dealing with success is really harder than dealing with adversity, in my opinion. You know, so you know, we've had success too. We got to deal with it, and we got to, you know, kind of put the blinders on and not listen to what everybody's saying on the outside. Is say when we talk about the rat poisoning, you got to avoid the rat poisoning when you're having success.
Was there any difference? I mean, I know it's a new week, but was there any difference that you saw with him in practice this week after what was arguably his biggest mistake of the year?
No, not at all. I mean, it's only a mistake, Amanda, is when it cost you the win. But after the game, he's happy as can be. I haven't seen any difference. In fact, he's probably, I think he gets better every week. But like, you know, it would maybe sit with you a little bit if it, you know, if we got beat by 4 points and it was that that pick six that hurt you. But like, you know, again, we're all gonna help Eli. And defense, we're gonna get some fourth down stops, and we'll make it work. And then everybody's got to play better. But those things are going to happen. I mean, you know, he's been really good with the ball, and we got to continue to be, you know, +4 in the turnover ratio. That's where we are. I know that stat. I'm not big into stats, but +4 is good. Keep that up. Keep getting them on defense. Keep protecting the football on offense, and those are going to happen.
Pat, between you guys, volleyball, both the soccer teams, Pitt's had a lot of success this fall in terms of a lot of sports. What does it mean to be part of an athletics department that's had that kind of success so far this year?
You know, it's great. I mean, I'm kind of worried about what's happening over here in the Durats, but you know, I'm happy for Dan Fisher and all the successes we're having on that, you know, on the other side of the river, I guess. It's awesome. It's great for the athletic department, and I'm happy.
Anything final?
Whose idea was the video, and you had to have acted in your school play in high school?
Okay. I don't think we had a school play at ours in high school. I was on the stage crew when I had to take a theater class at Rhode Island. I was on the stage crew because I wasn't going out there, so I don't do that. And was not my idea. I just followed directions. Our marketing team, you know, had an idea, and it's, you know, it's what we do. So just whatever I got to do to help promote the University of Pittsburgh, I'll do it.
Did you enjoy it? You had a smile on your face at times?
You know, it's a great question. I don't know if I enjoyed it. I was kind of laughing, like, what am I doing here? This is kind of funny. And I guess Mr. Rogers laughed a lot. So I didn't, you know, he smiled a lot, I guess. I don't know. But maybe I did a good job by accident. Because I don't like to smile.
Did you ever meet him?
No. Have you?
No.
Anybody here? Okay. Never meet him.
Thank you all.